So I have done something that a lot of you might not like. And to those of you, I'm sorry. But it's what I had to do. I've changed sides of the screen. That's what it is. That's what I've done, and it upsets me actually a little bit because I've always been on that side of the screen. I've always been over there, but I've changed. Why? Well, last night I was streaming on Twitch, and then my internet just cut out and broke. And what do you do when your internet cuts out? You change your whole desk setup. So everything's changed on the desk. I say everything, I've just moved things around a little bit. Basically, the camera's not central anymore. It's off to one side. The screen that was where the camera is now on the other side, which is why I've moved over, because if I look at my recording screen, I'm now looking towards the rest of the video, if you get me. Whereas if I've moved the camera to where it is now and left that screen there, if I looked off to my second screen, I'm looking off the bit. It's a bit distracting, which is why, that's the main reason why I've moved this way, because it looks a bit unnatural. I've also realised I think I'm covering up less important information as well. I think the only screen that might be slightly affected is the fixtures, because I'm slightly in front of it, but you can now actually see everything that's happened I've clicked on the wrong thing there. You can see everything that's happened in a game now on this side of the screen, whereas before that was hiding. So I think it's okay. We might just have the odd situation where you'll get cross because I'm covering the fixtures when I say next episode, but if that's the only sort of disadvantage to this, then it's probably okay. But look, you can actually read all the news articles now. I'm not covering up half of them. I'm not actually covering up the stars or wages or anything like that. You can probably see more important stuff on that side of the screen. Dynamics, we don't really go on that often. Tactics, I'm maybe covering up the centre-back and left-back a little bit, but you can see who it is on that side of the screen anyway, and you can see this whole thing now with all of the average ratings and goals, and I think I was covering that up before. Team reports, we don't really go on this screen too much, but you can see all the stats and whatnot, which is good fun. We never really go on the staff screen, but you can see that we have plenty of good staff. Training, I never ever touch this training screen. I have no idea what I'm doing here, so we ignore that. Medical room, we never go on there. Fixture we spoke about. This one, I'm hiding a little bit of a table, but it's not a big deal. You can probably actually see more now on the player search as well for stars and prices and wages and stuff like that, and this transfer screen. To be fair, nothing's really affected, is it? So if you're a fan of the change, then make sure you do drop a like on the video for me. Even if you're not a fan of a change, please still drop a like. I'd appreciate it. Also, if you're new around here, make sure you do subscribe to the channel, and of course, drop a comment down below for the YouTube algorithm. So today we are playing Hearts and Barcelona, which will be good fun. Obviously, you were last here for the first leg against Barcelona, which we drew 0-0, and of course that 4-0 win against St Mirren. Since then, we beat Dundee United 6-1, as you can see. Even with Alabio sent off, we still managed to batter Dundee United in the New Firm derby, so very pleased with that one. We then managed to beat Rangers 4-0 away from home in the Scottish Cup quarter-final, so we line up ourselves a semi-final actually against St Mirren, which would be good fun. And then last time out, we beat Dunfermline 4-0, despite Adnilson being sent off in the second minute of the game. Hearts are having a good season so far, but not as good as Rangers and Hibs. Obviously, we saw them play in the first knockout round of the Europa League and the Europa Conference League, the first leg of that. They've played the second leg off camera, and both Rangers and Hibs have won that. So they go into the second knockout round, which is superb. Rangers ended up beating Sevilla, as you can see, 3-2 and 2-1. You love to see it. And then Hibs managed to go on to beat Fenerbahce. Where is it? They drew 1-1, but won 2-1 away from home. So brilliant stuff. When we play Barcelona in our second leg of the first knockout round, Rangers are playing in the second knockout round, first leg, which is a bit confusing again. They play against, where are they on here? It was a difficult one. It's down the bottom, Tottenham, as you can see. So that's quite a difficult one for them. Hibs, maybe a slightly easier draw. They have been put up against Braga from Portugal, so I think they could probably do it. But before we do that, we need to play against Hearts in the Scottish Premiership, which we are the champions of now. I didn't realise how quickly this would happen, but we're so far ahead, we're already crowned champions, which is pretty mental. So 5 in a row. 5 championships in a row. You love to see it. The team for this one is Marcelo Gil in goal, with Crossan, Sandro, McBangold and Fielding in the back. Alavio and Prochaska make up that midfield duo, with Jez Finley, Thad McRae, Robert Dow and Shaban leading the line. Demancic is suspended, but that's fine, it's a league game. McIntyre, who would normally play, is injured, and Admilson also suspended. That's why Alexandro is playing this one. So, as kickoff is upon us here today, there's a few little things to talk about. The first one is, of course, our new right back, Aaron Fielding. Some mixed comments last time about his addition to the team. We did spend a lot of money on him, an awful lot of money, and I still think he's worth it. Some of you guys maybe don't quite think he is worth it, but I think he is. Now, I've neglected to mention it actually in yesterday's video, because actually it wasn't really that important, but when we signed him, he was, or PSG wanted him, basically. It said on this page that PSG wants this player. They didn't actually make a bid for him or anything like that. They left us to do that. So I guess they were put off by the price, maybe. So maybe we did overpay. But PSG wanted him and we got him. So he's obviously, if PSG wants him, a bloody world-class right back. In the meantime, Alavio on the ball for us as he looks to bring it forward. It's stopped by the defenders though, but Crossan now back on the ball, looking to get a cross into the middle from the left-hand side. Plays it into Alavio instead, back to Crossan, who can put a ball into Jez Finley, who tries to get it more central, but doesn't quite get his cross into the middle. We do pick up possession again though, as Prochaska plays it into Jez Finley, right on the goal line now, into Alavio, who's fouled in the area, and I'm on a mission. I want every single player in this team to score a goal this season, because most of them have. So today, Marcelo Gil is going to be the first player to score a penalty, fingers crossed, and hopefully he'll be one of those players without a goal so far to score a goal. He sends the keeper the wrong way. You love to see it. Gil's first of the season. That's one off the list. I actually meant to talk about that before we kicked off so I could show you who's not scored. My bad. But anyway, I was talking about Aaron Fielding. I think he's a very good addition to the team, particularly for the homegrown stuff and Scottish, and being one of the best right backs in the world, in my opinion. We could lose him or de Klerk and we'd have an adequate player to just fit in. So very pleased with the strength and depth we have at right back now. The other players that I want to talk about are some of the young regens that have come through. It is like the Robert de Dows, the Jez Finleys, those sorts of players, right, who are in the team and they're good enough to win a league title, because that's what they're doing most of the time, right? They're playing most of these games, but they're not good enough really for the Champions League. So do we keep them in the team to just play league games, or do we send your Jez Finleys, your Robert de Dows, your Jim McBangolds, your Harry Storms, those sorts of players, do we just sell them to other Scottish clubs and use those guys to then get the other teams better? I don't know. I'm a little unsure, so let me know what you guys think in the comments section. But I'm always just trying to come up with sort of ways to make the rest of the league better. But at the same time, maybe we don't need to. I mean, look at Hibs. Hibs are doing phenomenally well, stupidly well, right, in the Europa Conference League. And Kilmarnock nearly pulled off some big upsets in the Europa League as well. Like, they didn't do a bad job at all. But essentially, we're getting close to overtaking France, Germany, Italy. Like, it's going to get tight in the next few seasons, and we need every Scottish club to be firing on all cylinders to make it happen. In the meantime, Aaron Fielding coming forward. We've not really scored many goals in this game. In fact, only the penalty, of course, going in. So Hearts, maybe they're pretty decent. Hearts are putting up a decent fight against us. Right now, they're in 5th. They're in a pretty tight fight, actually, with Hibs and Motherwell for those 4th, 5th, 6th place finishes. And actually, I've only just realised how close Hibs and Hearts are to Celtic and Rangers. Could we see a world where Celtic and Rangers drop to 4th and 5th and Hibs and Hearts get the Champions League football? It would be amazing for, you know, the dynamics of Scottish football. I don't think it would be particularly good for our coefficient points. But looking into a team for the players without goals, there's only 5 players without goals now. One's Tom McIntyre, one is Mark Van Steen, one's Paul Cosson, one is Peter, of course, the goalkeeper, and new signing Aaron Fielding. So they're all defenders. In fact, they're all wing-backs pretty much, apart from obviously McIntyre is more of a centre-back actually, and obviously a goalkeeper in Peter. Essentially, we just need to hope we get penalties when these guys are on the pitch. But Jan Cavalcanti leads the way on 35 from 31 appearances, Sebastian Rella 26 from 28, Alavio 20 from 24, Shaban 18 from 26, Nemancic 13 for centre-back Nemancic from 30 games. That's nearly one every other game, which is mental. And then Thad McRae's got 11 from 22, which is one every other game, which is a pretty decent ratio. Sissoko 9 from 27, La Cruz 8 from 25. You can see all this stuff now on this side as well, which is obviously probably quite handy for you. So yeah, we are doing pretty well in terms of goals, and I'd like to see everyone get a goal. You remember this promise that I made to Tam Lumpa, because obviously we rotate our team week in, week out, and kind of forgot I promised Tam Lumpa he'd play every single game because he got cross that he wasn't playing every game, and now he's unhappy that the promise hasn't been kept. Tam, I apologise. Let's get it all sorted out. Okay, just never take him out the starting 11 now, Tom. How long is this promise for? But it's failed, so we're going to do it again. He's got 208 days left on that. He'll get tired at some point. But obviously, we will play him against Barcelona. That is a very important game. Quite like the camera where it is now. I feel like I'm just directly looking at it. And I've got the microphone like directly underneath the middle of it now. So hopefully all of my... Because before, if I was talking to the camera would be dead in front of me, but the microphone off to that left-hand side of me, the way it used to be positioned, it's now like in a nice line. I feel like I've got a good setup now. Well, I had quite a good setup before actually, but it's even better now. Editing will tell if it actually looks better though, because, you know, beforehand when the camera was like directly above the middle of my screen, I'd always be technically kind of looking straight at you. Now you kind of off to the side and I've got to, you know, turn my head a little bit. But because of the camera placements, it just looks like I'm looking at the game with you, I think. If I've got it right, at least. Anyway, heading into these Champions League second legs, we're playing Barcelona. 1-1 on aggregate after last episode. We need to keep big tabs out on the Celtic United game. Fingers crossed Celtic pull off a miracle and win away from home against United. And also, we need to be seeing the German teams going out, the Italian team of Juventus going out, and ideally Liverpool pulling off an upset against PSG, and of course Milan also losing as well. And Leipzig, I forgot any other teams are in this. Essentially, we need just all the German, Italian and French teams to lose. So for this one, of course, we're going to go back to our full strength lineup, although Mark Van Steen is suspended for this one. He seems to be suspended for every game. He won't play. Let's play Adam Milson at left back for this one and bring onto the bench Paul Crossan, and let's also bring Aaron Fielding on. The one player letting us down so far this season is La Cruz. He's the only one without a green rating. He's below a 7 rating. Everyone else above, and we need to improve left wing next season, although of course we can never rely on Lassielin coming back on loan. I'd love to get him back, but the way he's played this season, a 7.83 average rating across every game, well, United might want to keep him. Particularly if we go a lot further than in the Champions League this season. Fingers crossed Celtic knock United out. Although, 5 minutes in, United are 1-0 up, which is not ideal for us. Come on, Celtic. In our game, though, the first highlight is coming up as Tam Lumpa wins the ball from a Barcelona throw-in. So good interception there. His ball to Barella is good. And Barella now out to La Cruz. La Cruz, prove me wrong. Gets it into Jan Cavalcanti. And that is the goal we need. You love to see it. Superb build-up play there. All started from Tam Lumpa winning a throw-in, a Barcelona throw-in essentially, intercepted that one. We get the ball centrally, then out wide to La Cruz, who can just put a great ball into Cavalcanti, who just has a great run to get past his man, into the back of the net, and we go 2-1 up on aggregate. However, away goals are kind of out of the question now on the grounds that if Barcelona score, then that nullifies the away goal situation. So we have to win outright today now. Of course, Barcelona could score 2 goals. We score another one, 2-2. They go through on away goals. So it makes it even more important for us to win outright. Sadly, Celtic are losing 2-0. That's not ideal for us. I'm going to thrash my arms, far from pleased from what I've just seen out there from you lot. Lassielin looked quite demotivated by it, but, well, I don't know. Sort yourself out. Not much going on in these games, I'll be honest with you, as Celtic now 4-1 down there, and PSG have turned things around massively. Bayern might have turned things around. All the teams we want to be winning are losing, essentially, which is not ideal for us. This game, though, is really, really tense. I'm going to make some changes for 20 minutes to go. De Klerk is looking tired. Let's bring Fielding on. Lumpa's looking tired, but it'll get cross if I take him off, so we won't do that. La Cruz for Sadie. and Varela for Shaban. 3 changes all at the same time there. I think they're needed though. Players a little bit tired and not playing particularly well. Will we see the game out? Admilson with a long throw into the middle. Cleared by Torres, but back to Admilson, who can put a ball into the middle. Sadie's there, the Barcelona player. Didn't get it in the back of the net. Fielding now forward. It's not been a good ball forward there. We do win it at the back though. Fielding into Demancic. Demancic who loses it. Chukwueze coming forward now. Admilson not getting the challenge in. Oh, that was tight. That was very tight. Luckily for us, 10 minutes to go. Celtic are down and out of this one now, unfortunately. Shame for them, but they've managed to get through to the knockout stage of the Champions League, which is good. Admilson now on the ball into Sissoko. Sissoko, Demancic. Demancic forward. Again, his passing has not been brilliant today. For the man who has, I think, a 94% pass completion ratio this season, the highest in the team, he's been a little bit poor. But Shaban comes away with the ball into the Barcelona area. His shot is blocked and closed down quite easily by the defender. But all we need to do is just see the game out now. See it out. There's a little bit more added time. Fielding's thrown to Lassieli and back to Fielding. Fielding now, Tamat Lumper. Jan Cavalcanti, oh, it's bounces around the area, nearly in at the back of the net. Not quite, but we've done it. I must say, I think we've been a little lucky with the whole situation. Barcelona in that first leg certainly looked a little stronger than us. We were the better team in this leg. We don't think we actually saw a Barcelona chance apart from very late on. But it was tight. We're not quite the runaway winners that we think we could be. So, £8 million for that. Aberdeen through into the quarterfinals. You love to see it, as Chelsea still after Jan Cavalcanti. They're always after him. Also, apparently new gate receipt records for that one. £925,000 we made from tickets in that game. You love to see it. But the question is, how did everyone else do? Well, PSG through, not good for us. Celtic out, not good for us. Juventus knocked out, good for us. Milan go through, not good for us. Aberdeen through, very good for us. Leipzig out, good for us. Bayern out, good for us. Dortmund through, not so good for us. So a mixed bag there. Only 3 of the teams that we wanted to be knocked out did get knocked out, which means that PSG, Milan, and Borussia Dortmund went through. So 50% actually, that's not too bad. If we look down into the first leg of the second knockout round, Napoli are not the team we're looking for. I saw Rangers in blue and saw 1-0 and then saw Rangers lose 3-0 to Tottenham. At least Hibs managed to beat Braga 5-1, as you can see. So Hibs, go on Hibs, win the Europa Conference League for us. Obviously, next episode we'll come back for both legs of the Champions League quarterfinal. Again, this is the bit you can't quite see behind me. This is the only bit where the new camera position is going to mess things up a little. In fact, all I could do actually, all I could do is just do that, and then you can see, right? But there's not very much to see right now because we've not been drawn against anyone because the draw's not for a couple of weeks or so. So there we go. Either way, thank you very much for watching today's episode. Hope you guys have enjoyed it. And of course, if you have done, make sure you do drop a like on the video for me. Subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. And of course, leave a comment down below for the YouTube algorithm. Until next time, have a lovely evening. I'll see you soon. Have a good one. Goodbye.